Hi everyone, once again this is Hannah and welcome back to my channel. Today's vlog is everything about Hissor, Hissar, Қалъаи Hissor or Hissar Fortress. Hissor, Hissar is a town located about 25 kilometers drive southwest from Dushanbe in the Hissor Valley along the Kanaka River, which soon joins the river Kafanigan, which then joins Amu Darya later at the border of Afghanistan and Tajikistan. There is also another larger town named Hissor in English, but Hissor in Cyrillic letters west from Dushanbe, so make sure that if you're trying to reach the fortress, go to the first mention. Hissor was the main settlement of the area until Dushanbe started to develop as the capital of the Soviet Republic of Tajikistan and was an important tradition post between Samarkand and Termez in present-day Uzbekistan. Hissor is most known of its ancient fortress, which stands on a hill guarding the valley between two mountain ranges to east and to west. Historical records mention fortress in Hissor as far back as 1000 BC. More recent records of the fort relate to the time when Cyrus the Great founded the first Persian Empire around 550 BC. Not much of the original fort is remained as it has been destroyed and rebuilt again and again due to its strategical position, and different parts of the fortress have been added during different time periods, the most latest being the quite touristic partial reconstruction, having places for sellers inside to sell souvenirs for tourists. The latest restoration has used the 18th century Hissar Fortress that was destroyed by the Red Army as a model. Nevertheless, the place is worth seeing if you are in Dushanbe and have time for a day trip. The oldest surviving part of Hissor Fort is the Arched Gate, which is from around 500 AD. You can also see some not reconstructed parts of the walls if you venture a bit further into the hill towards the west. The 1500s marked the building of several components of the fort, namely the wall where the main gate is located, the old madrasa, the Mahmudi Azam Mausoleum, and some additions to the old mosque. One of the latest additions next to the fort is a caravanserai from 1808, a place for Silk Road traders and their camels to safely spend the night. Only the lower part of the caravanserai remains, as top layer were taken by the Soviets to build a theater in Dushanbe. If you visit Hissor during a Sunday, you have a good chance to see part of the local wedding festivities, as it is a place where the local people gather for photos. Inside the fortress, a wedding ceremony building added recently, which has increased the popularity of the place amongst the locals even further. Some people also tell that the local bazaar in Hissar is more authentic experience than the ones in Dushanbe and provide a better insight for the daily life of Tajiks. How to get to Hissor? You can reach Hissor the easiest way with a car by driving the M41 or getting a taxi, and all the drivers know where you are going. If you are using the public transportation, you should take the minibus or the shared taxi to Hissor from Hissor in Dushanbe, which you can reach with a bus or taxi number 8. Bear in mind that you still need to move around 5 kilometers inside Hissor from the local bus station to the fortress towards the south. There is also a train connection from Dushanbe to Hissor several times a day, which also requires a second transport inside Hissar. The shared taxi costs 5 somoni, or that's gonna be 50 cents, from the city center of Dushanbe to Hissor. Then from Hissor going to the main city of Hissar is also another 5 somoni. Then from the Hissar city center to Қалъаи Hissor is another 5 somoni. So all in all, if you will be traveling by public transportation, that would cost you 15 somoni from Dushanbe to Қалъаи Hissor. But bear in mind that there should be 4 people inside the cab. If you want to rent a taxi from Dushanbe city center to Hissar, that would cost roughly 100 somoni or $10. and without anyone inside the car, it can bring you directly to Қалъаи Hissor. So that's gonna be 100 sumoni going, $10 going there, and 100 sumoni or $10 going back. So that's gonna be 200 sumoni or $20 back and forth for a private taxi of Dushanbe to Қалъаи Hissor. The travel time is only 30 minutes Dushanbe to Hissar and another 30 minutes from Hissar to Dushanbe. So once again, if you're in Dushanbe or planning to visit Tajikistan after the pandemic, please don't forget to visit the Hissar Fortress because it's only 30 kilometers away from Dushanbe and only 4 kilometers from Hissar village, and there is one of the main Tajikistan's monuments, the Hissar Historical Reserve. If you visit Hissar, you may be able to see the following: Hissar Fort with arc built and now reconstructed, Rekistan, a square before the fortress, old madrasa built on the territory of 2,250 square meters, the new madrasa, caravanserai built in 1808, the Sangin Mosque, the mausoleum of Mahmudi Abzam built over the grave of Khoja Muhammad Haiboki, and History Museum located in Old Madrasa building and has a display of 3,200 exhibits. My mom, Joshua, and I visited the Hissar Fortress several times. Hissar Fortress is the former residence of Beck, a deputy of Bukhara Emirate. The fortress walls were 1 meter thick and had gun slots for rifles and cannons. Inside the fort was a garden and a water pool. Stairs and brick terraces were led to the main entrance, but unfortunately they were lost with time as well as the palace building. The only part that remains till our days is monumental gates built of burnt bricks with 2 cylinder towers and a lancet arc between them. This type of architecture is typical for most of Bukhara buildings built within the centuries before. But even this small part of the fortress looks great and impressive. There are several legends connected with Hissar Fortress, and one of them claim that the fort was built by Afrasiab to defend the Rustam from the heroes of Shahnameh written by Firdausi in 1000 AD. Another says that Caliph Ali arrived in the area promoting Islam to local population on his horse Duldul. He stopped on the hill west of Hissar and known in our days as Poy Duldul. Pretending to be acrobat rope walker, he made it to the fort where he was recognized and imprisoned. Ali then called his horse that fought him from Zulfikar's sword, and with the help of Zulfikar, Ali killed his enemies including evil magician who owned a fort at that time. Across the gates was a marketplace with caravanserai and numerous shops. Another buildings around the square include Old Madrasa, New Madrasa, and a mausoleum. Both madrasas are built of brick and topped with domes. Inside is a wide area with cells built along the inner walls. In the beginning of the 20th century, the madrasas host about 150 students and were closed in the 1921. In the old madrasa still remain as the library premises right now. However, new madrasa building is known as only 2-story facade that is still overlooking the square while the rest of the building was destroyed.
Few minutes later.
The video that I'm showing you right now are the stores for the souvenirs. So if you happen to be in Tajikistan and you want to buy some memorabilia or souvenirs of the country, you may do so here at Қалъаи Hissor. These are the authentic Tajik souvenirs and things that you can bring with you as you go back to your home country. Tajik souvenirs are the lightest gifts such as accessories, scarves, shawls, headscarves, covers, skull caps that can be decorated with printed pattern to be hand-painted or embroidered. Here you can find a truly masterpiece of national creativity. Let it not be made so bright, but it will have more identity. If you have anything made all the canons of the ancient Tajik craftswomen, consider yourself very lucky. Textiles as souvenirs. Craftswomen of Tajikistan share their experience from generation to generation. This art has ancient roots and is still used for carpet decoration, textile clothing, and souvenirs. Tajik women produce fabric handmade and decorated with the help of special needles and cotton, wool, silk, precious and semi-precious stones. Therefore, it is easy to buy textile products in Tajikistan such as Hissor, which is made in national motifs at reasonable prices. You just need to have enough space in your suitcase as you go home. You may find it incredibly beautiful carpets and bedspreads, handboard embroidered clothing, hats, and shoes. Like all Oriental women, Tajik women are very fond of everything that shines. Therefore, in the market, you can find a lot of things with rhinestones, sequins, gilt embroidery. And if some of your friends have special love for shiny things, they will be really happy with such gift. Gulduzi is also an embroidery or a souvenir on the pre-made template. This style is one of the most difficult art in gold embroidery. Gulduzi is used to decorate the gowns, bride shoes, headwear. In order that modern Tajik gold embroidery, Gulduzi is a main style used for souvenirs. It contains up to 10 to 20% of gold. The most popular patterns for embroideries are oftob or sun, mavs or wave, bulbul or nightingale, chashma bulbul, nightingale's eye, and sadbarg, rose, and the others. Some Tajik souvenirs also include leather. In Tajikistan, it is widely developed and the production of leather souvenirs is rampant. Pictures of leather and keychains with printed pattern, national footwear including slippers, all of these can attract the interest of tourists, especially here in Hissar. Therefore, on Tajikistan markets, leather products are very popular. Some of them are even meeting the requirements of fashion, so do not neglect these souvenirs and get them for yourself or your friends. We should not also forget clay products. Kitchen utensils made in specific national motifs are not only beautiful but also durable. When making a choice, pay attention to large dishes, vases, plates, jugs, bowls, teapots, and do not forget to ask the sellers here in Hissar whether it is possible to eat from these items or they are just only for souvenirs. Last but not the least, the most famous souvenirs from Tajikistan would be the statuettes. These can be made of wood, clay, and other materials. The most popular are the clay figurines. They are made of a variety of needs and sizes, from both the tiniest and to the cumbersome. And of course, for the road, it is better to buy a compact statuettes or fridge magnets, which is written Tajikistan, Dushanbe, or Hissar on the fridge magnets itself. We've reached the end of the video. Thank you so much for traveling with me today to Hissor. Once again, this is teacher Hannah Dakara, a teacher in Dushanbe, Tajikistan. Tajikistan filled the friendship. So if you're looking for a place to visit after the pandemic, please visit Tajikistan in Central Asia. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification button for more upcoming videos. Goodbye for now, everyone, and I'll see you in my next video.